is.
All right. Well, listen, welcome to another episode of the R&R Show. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the best little sports show ever. I'm your host, Michael Roope, my co-host, William Rumsey. Hello,
Howdy.
William. All right. Well, hey, we got to give props to one Terry Hahn
Yes, very
for our
exciting.
new little sports show jingle.
Yeah.
We love it. I
Very
hope you
exciting.
guys do too. I'd say it's almost like we're like now Jimmy Fallon and we have the Roots.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean
Terry,
hey,
you coming on?
Yeah, we need to get Terry on the set. So and maybe an Ed McMahon to our Johnny Carson.
Yeah, very nice. Very nice.
Well, thanks for joining us on this Monday, May the 4th. William, May the 4th be with you.
Oh.
Yeah, gun to the head. What's the your favorite Star Wars movie?
I would say Return of the Jedi.
I would say Empire Strikes Back, but
you're-
I
like the villains.
Yeah, I do. I'm more
Okay.
of the villain guy. So that's. But thanks, again for joining us on this May the 4th. We are here to recap episodes 5 and 6 of The Last Dance.
Yeah.
A lot to unpack here, William. More great episodes. What's your quick take so far as the documentary series?
I do believe there was a Star Wars reference in the
Yes,
episode last night.
there
Nas,
was.
the rapper,
Yes.
said that the shoes that kids were buying were like their lightsabers
Yep.
from Star Wars.
That-
That's pretty cool.
Yes.
I never thought about that.
Yeah, that's very cool. It being May the 4th, that's a nice little segue.
Yeah.
So, the episodes, you think?
I thought
great?
they were great. I
Yep.
mean, starting off with Kobe Bryant. I mean, obviously with the passing of Kobe recently and putting him at the forefront of that episode. Wow.
Yeah.
Very, very powerful.
Absolutely, and just the passing of the torch.
Yeah.
I mean that was done the right way. From the Larry Magic to Michael, and then from Michael to Kobe, and just them two. Michael wanting to go one-on-one to basically earn his stripes right there.
Yeah.
That was really neat to see.
What's funny is I read a quote today that somebody interviewed. I don't know if you remember Jason Williams with the Nets.
Yep, absolutely.
They interviewed him about the passing of the torch to Kobe, and he said, "I don't think Jordan would pass anything to Kobe." He said, "Maybe a stick of dynamite."
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
So that just, they obviously had a great relationship, but MJ was just so competitive. I don't know.
You know what? Them interviewing Kobe. He said all the right things.
He did.
But deep down, he's all competitors want to be the alpha.
Yes.
And
Yes.
in my eyes, there's only one top alpha, and even even with the dream team and those practices, all those practices, all full of alphas. But he quickly established who was going to be the alpha of the group.
Yeah, he was the alpha of alphas.
Yes, absolutely. I mean,
even that little interview he did when he came through the lobby and saw Ahmad Rashad.
Yeah.
And he asked him, "Hey, who would take the last?" He's like, "Me." He acted like that was a dumb question.
Well, and speaking of Ahmad Rashad, I think it's funny. He was always Jordan's little crony. I mean,
Yeah.
if he was always
Oh,
there,
yes.
right there after the games, just best of friends. He was always the PR guy in the forefront from Jordan, always getting the scoop. And
He did the interview when Jordan was in his sunglasses.
oh yeah, I mean that was literally Jordan's little crony that
Yes.
was always following him around,
Yeah.
basically, and obviously they had a great relationship,
They
so he
did.
always gave him the scoop. So
Yeah.
so a couple things to unpack. Obviously, so far to date, obviously 5 and 6 just went. So through the first 6 episodes, who do you think is the biggest loser to date?
Oh. Unquestionable, Isaiah Thomas.
There's a couple of them that I thought of when I was just watching it, and I thought, the biggest loser to date in these episodes, we've got Isaiah Thomas.
Yeah.
That's the easy one.
Yeah.
Jerry Krause
Yeah.
or Adidas.
Oh.
Well, yeah. Listen,
Yeah.
that's a toss-up. I mean, Adidas, boy, that was, I didn't know that.
I didn't either.
Yeah, that was kind of shocking when, to come to find out Jordan wanted to be with Adidas, and they basically said, we can't give you.
I wish they would have elaborated on that more, because Adidas's response, we couldn't make a shoe work.
I don't know.
Like, what the hell
that's
does
what
that
you
even
do.
mean? What is that? So, is that the worst business decision in history?
Yeah, I would have to say they're probably the biggest loser of the bunch.
Not only in sports history, but I'm just saying in history.
Yeah, I mean that's a big one. What did they say? They were wanting to sell 3 million that first year, and they ended up selling 126 million.
Yeah, that's.
I think that constitutes the biggest loser.
That's hitting your goals.
Yeah, but all three of those. I mean, Jerry Krause continues to take hits.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, every episode they are bashing the little man.
Yeah,
and it seems like Reinsdorf kind of gets unscathed in this, and Krause takes all the beating.
What did Jordan say in the locker room? Said he couldn't have a drink. Jerry couldn't have a drink because it would stun his
growth. I mean, they have those one-liners on every episode, and boy, that's you can see why this was heading down the wrong path at the end. But then and then we get to Isaiah Thomas. Mm-hmm. Boy, as we had mentioned on our last episode that we had talked about The Last Dance, Isaiah Thomas. Boy, Jordan gets the last laugh, obviously, with leaving him off the Dream Team. I mean, you could see how much it meant to Isaiah Thomas.
Yeah, but the one thing I learned, and maybe I knew it but forgot about it, it's been a while, Jordan wasn't the only one that disliked Isaiah.
No,
there were
not
multiple players on that team. So, whatever. I think Rod Thorne put that team together.
Yeah.
USA, but he probably knew.
I mean, Jordan even said,
like,
well, if you're insinuating so-and-so, well, Jordan never said he said his name. But, I mean, hey, listen, it doesn't need to be said. No. So, which I still find it ironic that Chuck Daly coached the team, but, Chuck did it the right way.
Yeah.
2 starting teams,
Mm-hmm.
they're going to go off in those intervals. But, the other thing, talking about the Dream Team, I took away was, I mean, I remember it being a real conversation that Croatia could possibly beat them. That wasn't happening.
No. My notes, when I was writing down notes last night, I also said, Tony Kukoc, poor bastard.
Yeah.
that's
he was. I mean,
I felt bad for the guy because I thought, you know what? Again, Jerry Krause inserted himself, said Tony was the future of the Chicago Bulls. And then Pippen and Jordan went at that dude.
Yeah.
They were like, we're going to shut him down.
Oh, absolutely.
I felt bad for Tony because he didn't have the talent around him that Jordan and Pippen did. So I think,
Hey. But you know what?
It is what it is.
You talk about earning your stripes.
Yeah.
Tony, and to his credit, he came back in the finals.
He did.
And, had a pretty decent game against those guys.
Yeah,
so.
I think he earned their respect in that game.
Yeah.
But the Alpha's got to check people every once in a while.
Absolutely.
And that's what they did.
And they certainly did.
Yeah.
Now, a couple other things I took away from the episodes. I forgot how many great commercials Jordan was in.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I started, when they were doing those commercial shoots, I started thinking, I was like, man, he was in a lot of damn good commercials that I'm sure that those companies really profited off of them. I mean, you think about the...
Be Like Mike.
It'd Be Like Mike. Any of the Gatorades. You had the Hanes commercial.
Mm-hmm.
You had the Air Jordan commercials, the Takeoff.
Yeah.
And then my favorite commercial, and they didn't even mention it or show it, was when I don't know if you remember the McDonald's commercial.
Yeah.
With Larry Bird, shooting a horse.
Yeah.
I mean, that commercial was that was awesome.
That was great.
Yeah.
That was probably my favorite commercial. But what was interesting about that is, and I didn't know this, is when he first started doing those commercials, his agent, what was his agent? David Falk?
Uh-huh.
He wanted to basically turn Jordan into a brand.
Yep.
And the league kind of pushed back. The team kind of pushed he's not a tennis player, or he's not this, but David Falk was like, we're going to make him that.
Yeah.
So I thought that was interesting that he was kind of the first basketball player that was pushed. Because then you had that commercial with Bird, Magic, Bernard King. They were in the Converse, and his agent was like, "No, we're going in a different direction."
Yeah.
Again, R.I.P. Adidas.
Yeah.
But I thought that was great.
It was
an interesting tidbit from that documentary.
You talking about Adidas? Kind of rewind a little bit about the Dream Team and the whole scenario with Jordan. I remember it vividly about the big build-up about is he going to wear the Reebok outfit?
Oh man!
And by the way, I mean, I can't.
That's why I did. That's why I wore the jersey to hide the logo.
Yeah, well, we're showing our age a little bit because is Reebok even relevant anymore?
I have no idea.
They were actually pretty cool back in the day.
They were.
I think they were that. They didn't they have the little pump.
Yeah, I wore some pumps.
Yeah, I mean, but I
Very
think,
nice.
Yeah, I believe they're probably like a New Balance today of some sort. Yeah, I mean that's
Also, USA Basketball. Did you have a Sega Genesis?
Yes.
USA Basketball, the game.
Oh yeah.
That might have been. Man, I was up there in probably the top 5 games I played the most.
Oh yeah.
As a child.
Great game. I was a Sega guy, so you had your Nintendo or the Sega. I was actually a Sega guy. Good stuff there. Obviously, huge parts that they were talking about was the gambling.
Yeah.
I mean, I have mixed thoughts probably, on that because it's crazy to think how gambling is so prevalent today and it's everywhere. I mean, you can't. They basically are asking you to gamble on everything anymore, and it's so frowned upon. And you know what? He's a competitor. He likes action. He just likes he likes competition.
I found not all aspects of it, but I find the gambling story of Jordan boring for some reason.
Yeah,
I just find it boring.
See, I like it.
Well, the only thing that what was the gentleman's name that he wrote a 57,000 Slim Bowler?
Yeah, and I think
I want an episode on that.
Well, I the funny thing is I did jot some notes down and I thought it was funny. I don't think he would have got nearly as much slack if it wasn't just for some of the guys he was gambling or betting against or what have you. There may be questionable past. But the funny thing is even with all that gambling, David Stern he quickly brushed it under the rug because he understood Jordan is the face of the league. And, I started thinking more about that as, they were like, well, I accepted that answer. And, he moved on. But then you think about, like, some of the other leagues. You've got, like, Jay Monahan, the commissioner for golf with Mickelson and Tiger Woods. Notorious. I mean, Mickelson was caught basically with Billy Walters, the biggest, gambler ever.
Yeah.
And they sweep it under the rug. You think about, like, NFL, Paul Hornung, the golden boy. Okay, he got a little slap on the wrist. A quick 1-year suspension, and then they bring him back because, again, he's a face of the league, which brings me to baseball. One Peter Edward Rose, the only person they basically crucified, and he was the face of the league.
Well, there were rumors that David Stern forced Jordan into that first retirement because of his gambling problem.
I don't believe, I think, where they were going still was, I think just Jordan was wore out. I mean,
he totally did. That couch scene where he just looked drained.
I mean, he has to be on 24/7.
They made a point in that last, like, he couldn't walk out anywhere and not be swarmed.
Yeah.
I think they kind of insinuated the only time he felt by himself is when he was gambling.
Yeah. I mean,
like taking out of his mind.
Well, and that's why he loved to golf so damn much, or whatever, or even the game, because he's just in the, just thoughts away. I mean, because gambling, you're not supposed to bother people when they're gambling and stuff, or even golf. I mean, those are his happy places.
I would not want to golf with Jordan.
I'm sure
I would not want to golf with that guy.
That would be a how they're doing the Brady, Brady, Manning, Mickelson, Tiger. I would like to see Jordan somehow in that pairing.
For sure.
For sure.
That would Who would we pair him with?
Boy.
Joe Burrow?
I mean, what other great golfer is there?
Tony Romo, probably.
Well, no. Well, you would need a golfer.
Justin Timberlake.
No.
Are we talking about celebrity?
I don't want a celebrity. I want an actual golfer.
That's right.
Well, what's the one that
Ricky Fowler or
I wasn't looking for Ricky Fowler. I'll tell you that. Well, who was the one guy that won a couple majors last year? Loss of words. But anyway, I would love to see him actually in those pairings because he's such a highly competitive guy. What else did you take away from those episodes?
Let's see here. I would say the finals with the Phoenix Suns and the Knicks.
Yeah. Well, that was going to be my last point on this. It's funny. I was actually in tears laughing how Krause was comparing Dan Marley to MJ, thinking he's on a comparable level, defensively, and
Barkley took his MVP.
Yeah,
This was like he scored 41 points a game in that finals.
Yeah, and that's what great ones do. They find something to motivate them. It could be just any little thing, and they will turn that in rage inside, just to basically dominate the other.
Yeah, that was a great series.
And
the Barkley line,
and with the Knicks, I forgot how much I hated Anthony Mason and John Starks. I mean, I forgot how much we disliked John Starks because of even the Indiana series. It just seems like Starks was a pain in the ass to a lot of people.
I just don't think they were that good, and they kind of had to be dirty to be good.
They were the new bad boys.
I think it was Patrick Ewing and a bunch of subpar players.
Yeah. They really were. Yeah. I mean, it was they were just hard-nosed, gritty. Let's grind them out, kind of like the Pistons were with Lane Beer, Mahorn. They just had that mentality. Yeah. But boy, I forgot how much I disliked John Starks.
But I did. One of the biggest laughs I've had through the series is when Barkley. They asked him after he won that game in Chicago, and you got anything to say to Chicago? He said, "Take that shit off the window." That's great.
Yeah, that was great. That was great. Yeah. And I forgot how hotly contested that series was. Now, I never did get to a game 7, but I did see Barkley on an interview today where he beats himself up all the time over not coming out more prepared for game 1, but. I don't think the series would have changed.
No.
Jordan was going to get that third no matter what.
Well, and that's who was talking about how he really wasn't playing basketball anymore.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was
B.J. Armstrong.
B.J. Yeah.
They said he was great on the offensive end, great on the defensive end, and he would just figure out how to beat you down. I didn't quite understand. That would probably be more of a big time basketball player.
I would think that's comparable. In another sense, to like Tom Brady. Tom Brady just knows how to beat you. I mean, whether if he sees, that the defense is suck and win. I mean, he knows how to get those drives longer. But yeah, Jordan, he just understood the game and what it took at that moment.
The old saying, they're playing chess and the other people are playing checkers.
Yeah, and he was definitely playing chess.
Yeah.
So. But great episodes. I don't know did they give a little inkling on what they were doing next week?
Possibly.
Yeah, I don't think I caught that either.
They start that thing so late.
Yeah.
Like by the end, I'm like, oh man,
they do. Well, listen, when you're taking some notes and taking it all in, it kind of gets lost in the shuffle. But I can't wait till next week.
Just one other thing that when Randy Brown came in and asked Jordan for tickets, and he said something about sitting up by God, and he's like, "You just got tickets from God." That reminded me of when the saying in the movie The Terminator, when the machines became aware.
Yeah,
like Jordan knew he was a god.
Yeah.
That just stuck out to me. Like he knew.
And one last thing, and we've got this on our Facebook page. where you talked about the security guard.
Yes.
The MVP.
John Michael Wozniak.
Yes.
Nicknamed Hollywood. Okay, so he was an Army vet, decorated Chicago narcotics officer, and had 2 Michael Jordan tattoos.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
2 Michael Jordan tattoos.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Now, when did he get them? Did he
When
get
are
them?
we getting ours?
Well, when did he get them? Did he get them during when he was like?
Yeah, back when he was.
When he was actually a part of the arena.
I believe so. I'd have to check into that. I just saw the
hey,
article
listen,
said he had 2.
Jordan had to feel like God.
I think for sure. Your bodyguard has a tattoo.
Your bodyguard.
Yeah,
that's pretty good. But that was, and that just shows you the competitiveness and the wanting of the juice, the action in Jordan by just
throwing quarters.
And just who can get closer to the ball. I mean, that was good stuff.
Yeah, and that's probably why he was great. He treated every little thing like that like it was Game 7.
Well, and did you notice, what's a quarter to Jordan? But after the one game, he wanted his quarterback. Yeah. So it was, just he wasn't going to let anybody take an inch on him.
And then one other thing so when he wore those Air Jordan 1s in his last Madison Square Garden game.
Yes.
The story was that he wanted to do it to pay tribute to just Madison Square Garden.
Yeah.
Kobe Bryant came out and said that's not true. It was all a business decision. He said they were going to re-release that shoe, and what better way to market that shoe than at Madison Square Garden? I was like, that's cool. That's a cool Kobe story.
Now, do you remember your favorite pair of Air Jordans?
Probably those.
Yeah.
There was another. I think it might have been the 4s. I was obsessed with. Right around when I was like 11 years old, I believe.
I had a pair, and I wasn't a big high top sneaker guy ever, but I did have a pair that I just absolutely loved, and I had them forever. And I only wore them like 3-4 times, but then they become so brittle and stuff. Then I tried to wear them once, and it kind of fell apart. Not a great pub for the Air Jordan.
No.
But it was the black with the gray with the spider web.
Yeah.
Those were my.
Yeah.
And Jason Sullivan always loved those a pair of shoes. But great stuff. Can't wait to dive into the rest of the series. How many more episodes we got? I think 4.
Yeah, it's 10 part.
So I would think somewhere along the lines we're going to talk about the death. Well, the death of his father. I would think.
Yeah, I think that's probably coming next week.
I would assume, and then the Reggie's got to be in there, and
the Pacers and Reggie because they went to a Game 7.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Man.
Yeah, wait a second. I didn't know Jordan knew Game 7.
Oh. Apparently he did against the Pacers.
Oh, wow. Well, hey, listen.
Yeah.
Great stuff.
Yeah.
Thanks once again for joining us. Again, if you like what we do, share it. Keep giving us good comments. Even if you don't like what we're doing, give us comments. But appreciate it, and we'll see you guys on the next episode. Thanks, guys.